Welcome to SAT TV News. I'm Shana Esprit, your presenter for today. In our top stories, youth benefits from consultation addressing employment. In Guyana, Qatar ties set to take off. Spain unemployment hits record high. And in sports division to honor national under-15 cricket team. Details of this will follow.
No child from 2012 onwards should be born with HIV. Even if you infected with HIV, you're still a human being. They're still living, they're still breathing, so we gotta love and respect them. Darren Sammy here endorsing the Live Up campaign. 2012, from now on, no Caribbean child born with HIV. We're moving forward, we're educating our people, and it's all about love, protect, respect.
Live up, shout, live up, live up.
Welcome back. The Japan International Cooperation Agency, in collaboration with Japan Overseas Cooperation Volunteers in the Dominica office, have always contributed greatly to technical and financial assistance in Dominica. Their main focus is to develop environment and disaster management, poverty reduction, fisheries and youth development. However, JICA's most recent project was the enhancement of the Waiti Kubuli National Trail. Mr. Miura spoke of the activities that transpired throughout the process of enhancing the trail.
My main purpose as a volunteer is a basic research. So I did all the 14 segments of Waiti Kubuli National Trail, and along the way I of course researched some plants, culture, and took many photos and checked the conditions of the trail.
He said they met with stakeholders and farmers who were willing to offer their land to be a part of the trail. The spice store has attracted many people who were solely interested in seeing the spices and the tropical crops. Mr. Miura said the highlights of Dominican nature are our volcanic mountains, tropical rainforests, virgin forest, World Heritage Site, and the island's ecosystem. Although all of these exist in other countries, the environmental specialist believes Dominica is unique because it possesses all-in-one and deserves world-class attention. He also focused on Dominican culture in his presentation.
And also there's unique cultures of Kalinago people, Iron Carib people. There was a history of Maroon people, brave Maroon people. And the Creole with some influence of African culture and France and Britain. And the tropical agriculture I mentioned. So altogether, I think Dominica is very unique and interesting, and it should be known by the people in the rest of the world.
Mr. Ronald Charles said Mr. Miura made special observations, namely the constant development of the trail in that it can generate income for Dominica. Mr. Charles said, although the trail is still in its development stages, a lot more needs to be completed for it to reach its optimal potential. He stated reasons why the unit still needs the assistance of JICA.
And that is where we look forward to continuing the partnership with JICA and in the areas of technical assistance, exchange, training in the various fields, from administration to tour guiding, to education, interpretation, and the whole range of works. What we want is, at the end of the day, that we have a trail that is not only appealing to the very particular mountain climbers, but almost everybody, and the trail is so well designed and so well spread out that people from all walks of life, can walk it.
In more stories, one local artist invited the public into his artistic mind as he hosted an art exhibition entitled Language of the Angels. The exhibition, which took place at the Tao Restaurant Art Gallery, located on Victoria Street, was held on Wednesday, April 24th. The artist Dominican Mr. Marvin Fabian stated the artwork was based on metaphorical signs and the symbols he created and integrated in his work.
My inspiration first comes from my everyday environment, what I'm living, where I'm working, where I'm on the computer, that's where I get my inspiration. And as you can see, some of the works have some relevance or some icons or some images that everybody uses, like Facebook and Flickr and YouTube. So some of these icons are basically, I get inspiration from them to do work.
He said the artwork, which integrates icons and the technology, are recognized in a manner which questions is how we human beings interact with these people. Mr. Fabian also added it highlights the importance placed on these icons. The artist noted his love for art began at the tender age of 6, where he was motivated by his aunt who would always pay for him to draw for her. From there, he went on to Martinique and then Trinidad, where he earned a master's degree in art.
My art is really inspired by a lot of work from the French countries and France and Europe basically. So it's a bit more contemporary and more questioning to the viewer than the normal scenery and landscape that we have in our everyday art.
He said his first art exhibition was held in Martinique. However, he hosted exhibitions in Guadeloupe, France and Dominica. The response in Dominica was different compared to other countries, he added.
Dominica, it's like a forceful thing in Dominica. I'm trying to get the viewer, the spectator, to understand that it's not a retinian or a visual impact or pleasure that art should give you, but it should be a cerebral pleasure where you know that what is it that you're seeing. There's something that you know about it that the person doesn't know, or something that you know that makes sense to you, and it transcends not just now, but transcends decades. It's like reading a book, Shakespeare book, and all that metaphor, you know it and you know what it means. So it goes on for ages, and it's like transmitting like a conte, a story, symbolism and all that. So through that, I basically the art basically I do. That's how it works.
Mr. Fabian took the time to tell the message behind one of his artwork.
This piece is called Beyond the Face, and there's no face in there, as you can see, and there is basically most of the things most people will see the Facebook logo. They will see the Facebook logo, and this piece is done with the intention of integrating basically the Facebook logo into a pyramidal form, and with a man or a figure with a Twitter as his head or his face, and at the same time this man actually is standing with another person intertwining like a cross symbol, like a Jesus Christ cross symbol, which goes up into like a tree. Basically, the piece Beyond the Face is what it is. It is something that you have to, beyond what is just what is there, there's another meaning.
Mr. Fabian said he will continue his artwork as he takes pleasure in creating his unique pieces. As a result of a trough system affecting Dominica, which generated torrents of rain, many communities were affected, including the San Sauvé community on Thursday, April 25th. SAT TV News was present to witness some of the effects that the heavy rainfall caused within the community. The bridge, which is the main route to commute in and out of the community, was affected during the rainfall. A large hole was right in the middle of the small bridge, preventing commuters from driving through.
And then all the passengers or family, up to a couple of days ago, they're taking a risk to cross the bridge there, because all the while the vehicles passing here under the bridge hollow, and it's a risk they're taking to cross that bridge here. So we want the rep or government to do something for us as soon as possible and fix that, because every time the river comes to get strong, we have a problem on that bridge here. So we want them to reinforce that for us. We want them to look after us around, because we is an object in the country.
Residents were in agreement that the condition of the bridge is extreme and needs to be addressed as soon as possible. One individual had his own technical explanation of what needs to be done to reinforce the bridge.
To make it much better, they have to open the mouth like how the river flowing and build a new bridge there, because honestly if they go back and do it the same way, that going back and happen the same thing again. So at least they have to watch it. The engineers that doing that project, they have to watch it and at least open it with the river mouth. So next time it cannot be like that, it will be flowing free. But anytime they don't do that, they're going to have that same problem and the same problem over and over and again.
Honorable Johnson Drago, parliamentary representative for the Castle Bruce community, was also out to assess the damages in his constituency.
One of the affected areas from the heavy rain we've had recently happens to be the footage of the Sansovere Bridge. The river really compromised the foot of the bridge, and the backfill on the side has eroded heavily. We have been preparing for immediate action. However, we had some setback. As you know, the road through Ponkasi happens to be impassable for the time, and equipment has to travel through the bush, which in itself has its own difficulty.
Mr. Drago said immediate action will be taken before the day is over, and some equipment is expected to arrive shortly. Work will be conducted throughout the night and will commence tomorrow to have the situation rectified within 2 days. Despite the heavy rainfalls experienced in Sansovere earlier today, teachers and students were at school as if it were a normal day. In more news, the Orion Academy will celebrate 10 years since its inception under the theme, "We are not just a school, we are a family." Ms. Quinn Thomas, a teacher at the school, said they are trying to incorporate all activities throughout the year to be family-oriented. She highlighted the events that will be taking place on Friday, April 26, to commemorate the anniversary.
Friday, which is tomorrow, we'll have our open house, but we expect the Orion community, the family, to be there. So parents, past parents will be coming in, past students as well, present parents, present students to be, to share, to give some impressions of about the school. And we're also expecting our present students to have an exhibition on their work that they have done throughout the last school year, or this current school year. And different programs. For example, the music program, we will highlight that. So some of our students will be presenting, and in terms of our art program, you will see some pieces of that as well.
The total number of students who attend the Orion Academy is approximately 40 students. However, Ms. Thomas explained that this is the required amount. Maintaining a small student body is one of the founding principles of the school.
We're student-centered, or what you will hear people say, child-friendly. So we teach based on the needs and interests of our students, and the small classes allow us to really interact with each student as an individual, to learn from them as to their strengths, their weaknesses, and to plan for them. So we focus on individualized planning and individualized instruction.
Each class maintains an average of 9 students, which allows them to receive individual attention. One of the benefits of having small student bodies is that it allows the students to perform better academically.
I think the students perform fairly well. Okay? We have had students who were in the top 5 at the CXC after the CXC exams. I know students who got 9-1s, just recently, maybe 1 or 2 years ago. So our students do well. Our curriculum is stimulating. We offer programs that some of the other schools don't offer. They're newly introducing, and that has been from inception. So the students were introduced to arts and music. Okay? So they have these additional subjects and they do really well.
Ms. Thomas highlighted some of the ways Orion Academy has improved since its opening 10 years ago.
Our population is growing, so people are seeing that what we do at Orion, it works. So our population is growing. We started off with 12 students in 2003, and now we're at 36. But the whole idea is to keep the school population small so that we don't forget our students. We can actually interact and we don't forget about the philosophies, the founding principles upon which we started.
Does the school have any holistic programs?
The whole idea of Orion is fostering holistic development. So apart from the curriculum, that is the national curriculum, our students are involved in a range of extracurricular activities.
The students of the Orion Academy are taught to be well-rounded individuals by creating a balance between academics and holistic education as they move forward into the future. In other stories, statistics have shown that unemployment among young people is increasing across Europe, and in several countries it has even reached more than 40%. Being a graduate from university with high marks is not enough to ensure rapid employment. According to Mr. Gregory Rivera, acting youth training instructor at the Youth Development Division, there are many reasons behind the problem of youth unemployment in Dominica. For example, lack of particular skills, mismatches between education and needs in labor markets, lack of self-confidence, and a lack of self-esteem. On Wednesday, April 24th, the Youth Development Division hosted a series of consultations to look at employment and unemployment amongst Dominica's youth.
As you realize, that is a major issue facing young people in Dominica, not only Dominica, but of course the region. As a department, we have to find ways and means of dealing with that problem. So the department that I work, which is a skills training program, we organize a number of activities to provide training for young people, getting them prepared for employment.
One of the activities we found most useful is to engage with the young people as much as possible, he added. Mr. Riviere stated that one of the objectives of the consultation is to listen to the youth as well as other stakeholders. A number of government officials, including the Mayor of Roseau, His Worship Cecil Joseph, and the parliamentary representative of Roseau Central, Honorable Norris Prevost, were present at the consultation.
As well as people who are involved in the public sector, well, the private sector rather. So they would also give us an indication as to what are some of the things that we can do as a department to try to curb this problem of unemployment among youth. In terms of the format, we have three main speakers. This afternoon we're going to have Mr. Alexander, who is he works with the employment unit. We also have Matilda Popo, who is the job developer at Youth Division. And we also have Mr. Bernard Bontiff, who is the instructor trainer. Now those three people, they are going to set the platform for the discussion. Mr. Stevenson is going to talk about the employment opportunities that are out there for young people. What are some of the areas that youth need to be trained in order to gain employment?
There are three major objectives for this seminar, he said.
Youth will gain an understanding as to what is out there, that what the job market is really looking for. What are some of the skills that that young people, not young people, the employers rather, are looking for from young people. So that is one of the objectives. The other objective is to give youth an idea as to some of the things that they can do in preparation to become employed, and what are some of the things that they can do to keep that employment. And the final area is to basically provide youth with information as it relates to what is it that the Youth Development Division has been engaged in terms of curbing the problem of unemployment among young people.
In other news, in an effort to raise awareness of the plight of amphibians, the scientific community has declared Saturday, April 27, 2013 as the 5th annual Save the Frogs Day. On this day, various scientific communities encourage the appreciation and celebration of amphibians by people from all walks of life. Acting Forest Officer at the Forestry and Wildlife Division, Ms. Jacqueline Andre said, only a small proportion of our public is aware that frogs are disappearing, and amphibian conservation efforts will not be successful with an uninformed public. Ms. Andre said their goal is to make the amphibian extinction crisis common knowledge, and the Save the Frog Day is the best way to make this happen.
What we're trying to do is to get the information out there about the importance of the frogs, because the frogs are disappearing, and not many people know that they're disappearing, and they don't understand why they are disappearing. We ourselves in Dominica, we have we're home to 4 species of amphibians, and we have the plight of our own crapo, that is our mountain chicken. In 2002, we had the chytrid fungus, which has affected our frogs, and about 80% of that has disappeared. What we would like to continue to do, the Forestry Division, is to continue our awareness programs, and we've designed a sort of campaign, Have You Seen Me? Have You Heard Me?
She added that Dominica is home to 4 species of amphibians, all from the family of frogs. The Forestry, Wildlife and Parks Division also made a presentation on frog conservation at the Massac Primary School on Wednesday 24th April 2013, ahead of the April 27th, 2013 observation. Ms. Andre noted, although Save the Frogs Day is observed on April 27th, the Forestry and Wildlife Division will continue to create an awareness to protect the frogs.
Because Frog Day, it's just one day where everybody around the world coming together to do that. But the Forestry Division continues to do this awareness program. We do not want it to be just for one day. We want to every day, every opportunity we get, try to encourage people to be aware of the importance of the frog, the disease that's affecting them, and what they can do to help us to save that crop. So bring it back into, for those of you who eat meat, as our national dish.
And in more news, as we celebrated Girls in ICT Day today, April 25th, SAT Telecoms took the time to recognize one of their own involved in this industry. In-house technician Ms. Veronica Laura stated she entered this male-dominated field as she always wanted to do something different and out of the ordinary that would be interesting and exciting. Ms. Laura stated each day is a new challenge where she acquires a lot of knowledge working with various equipments and appliances.
It was very surprising to my family for one, and my friends, because most times when I tell people I do electronics, they're like, "You're serious?" When I tell them I repair things, I fix things, and it would really amaze them because they would never expect me to be in that field. Because to them it's something difficult, and then they would never expect me to be doing it.
Being an electronics technician has been a very rewarding journey for me thus far, and I would encourage young people to get involved in similar professions, said Ms. Laura. Ms. Laura, who has been involved in this field for over 15 years thus far, this is because of her passion for her job and the fact that each day she is faced with a new challenge she works to conquer.
I do the nodes, which I use on the line. I do the amps, the trunk amps, I do the line extenders, and we're now into the digital, into the boxes and the remote control. So basically I do the repairs and the service of all our equipment that we use on the line.
So you repair the boxes, faulty cable boxes on a regular basis?
Yeah, when they come in with any problem, I have to check them, make sure that they're working okay, I have to program them. I might not retire fixing televisions or fixing equipment, so I know I wouldn't want to retire doing that. Maybe I want to retire doing something, like maybe having my own business, maybe selling electronic stuff or having my own electronic place, but not repairing necessarily.
What is your mind frame every morning when you report to work, seeing that you know the task at hand?
When I come to work, I always come in a good spirit. I know what I have to do, I know what my day is like, so I just do what I have to do and just get to the work.
Using herself as a perfect example, she is urging young girls to pursue careers in fields such as ICT and other technical fields, as there is no profession only for men. She added, in many cases, the women in these fields are just as good or better. In more news, the town of Portsmouth will come alive on Sunday, May 19th with the 4th annual Dominica Jazz and Creole Festival. Head of Marketing of the Discover Dominica Authority, Mrs. Nikima Royer John Baptist, stated, this year there will be many fringe events surrounding the festival. On Wednesday, May 15, Jazz takes on Pan when the Evergreen Hotel presents Pan and Jazz Soiree on Thursday, May 16th. The Anchorage Hotel presents Word Sounds and Power Jazz and Creole Edition, where jazz will meet the spoken word and rhythmic drums. Fortune Hotel's Friday night will take on an upbeat jazzy flavor on May 17th when they present Happy Hour Jazz and Creole, and on Saturday, May 18th, patrons can spend the afternoon at the river enjoying the jazz and Creole fusions with some Creole food at Riverside Jazz and Creole, presented by Riverstone Bar and Grill.
Now this is important to us because we know visitors to Dominica enjoy and expect activities to take place. And this main stage event at the Cabarets, as well as the fringe events, gives them a week full of different activities that are located throughout the island that showcases some of the best Dominica has to offer.
Mrs. John Baptiste noted this event, although in its 4th year, is steadily gaining popularity while maintaining its success with over 1,200 visitors. With such encouraging numbers, Mrs. John Baptiste mentioned that the DDA will continue to vigorously promote the event so it continues to thrive. She said most of the reviews of the event have been positive, and many patrons love the fact that it is a family event which infuses local, regional, and international artists. This year's event will be headlined by Jamaican-born master pianist Mr. Monty Alexander.
Monty is a Grammy-nominated, well-renowned artist. I think Monty was just a perfect fit for us, and as he's celebrating his 50th anniversary in the industry, I think it was just a perfect fit. And he is Caribbean born, but he has international roots. So again, it was the way he fuses all these multitudes of different genres, reggae, jazz, Caribbean styles together. I think it was just a perfect fit for us.
Mr. Alexander, who recently celebrated his 50th year in music, will explore a repertoire that encompasses standards and original songs, as well as exciting rhythms of his native land. He began playing the piano at the age of 4 in Kingston, Jamaica, and by age 6 he commenced lessons in classical music. His love for jazz music took root after attending Louis Armstrong and Nat King Cole's concerts in Jamaica. The musician migrated to the USA in the 1960s, where he took up residence at Gillies Jazz Club in New York and performed with musical legend Frank Sinatra.
It's going to be fantastic, the same as it has been in all previous years. And this year we do have Monty Alexander, Beethoven Obas, Eric Ildefonse and his quartet. Mikkel Henderson, our Princess of Song, is going to be with us as well. And we have Joy Stout, Mel C and Tiffany Main, as well as Phase 5. So those are the artists that are going to be there. But in addition to that, you can look forward to great food, a great ambiance, a lovely atmosphere. Your kids are going to be happy and enjoyable, and it's just going to be great all around.
Mrs. John Baptiste added that patrons should ensure that they take the time out to attend this priceless family event, which promises to be memorable. And in court news, Mahu resident Mr. Rob Bertrand was denied bail when he faced Roseau Magistrate Candia George on Thursday, April 25th. Mr. Bertrand, who was slapped with the charge of grievous bodily harm, was not required to plead as this is an indictable offense. Indictable meaning rendering the person who commits it liable to be charged with a serious crime that warrants a trial by jury. It is reported that he allegedly wounded Mr. Gibbs Carbon in Mahu on April 21, 2013. Police prosecutor Inspector Innocent Tousse objected to bail on the condition that Mr. Bertrand was on bail for a similar offense when he allegedly committed the act. He also objected to bail, stating, since the incident, the victim, Mr. Carbon, has been a patient at the intensive care unit of the Princess Margaret Hospital. Inspector Tousse also told the court that Mr. Carbon expected to be flown out to Martinique in the next few days for further medical attention. The trial has been set for August 1, 2013 at St. Joseph. Mr. Bertrand is represented by attorney Dave Bruni. This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.
SAT TV. Drink your drink. SAT TV. SAT Telecom. SAT TV. Crossfire the bomb. SAT TV. Dominica the norm. TV. Yeah man, SAT TV Crossfire.
The people's choice.
That's
for real.
Right.